Let's go. Now turn left.
You know, when you're going to go on a trip, you want to get from point A to point B without any issues. And this GPS that I'm using is one that I can trust, and it sits right here on my phone. I can have it as a tablet and just put it right there so I can easily see it as I navigate down the road. And so today in this video, I'm going to show you why I feel like this is the ultimate GPS and why you should try this out. Welcome to Tigner Adventures. My name's David, and as I showed you in our opening video, we're going to be talking about GPSs today. So I'm sure that some of you at least remember the good old days of just using these old maps to get around, and I was never very good at that. We were always lost. And so by using the GPS now that's built into your phone or your tablet, if your tablet has a SIM card in it, you can actually use these to navigate down the road. And these are a lot better than those other units that you purchase that are just dedicated to be a GPS, because they only last so long, and then you have to try to keep upgrading them, and pretty soon you got to buy another one and buy another one. You know, you're already got your money into this phone and you're already upgrading it as you need to. And so, you know, you never have to, once you purchase it, the software, it's on here for life. The software I'm talking about is RV Life. They have a combo of different products, and this particular one is included within that Pro package, and it's the GPS that will run on your phone or on your tablet. And so in today's video, I'm going to go through and show you why I feel like this is the ultimate GPS. And I'm going to show you why some of the things that I figure that kind of count into making that the ultimate GPS, so that you can kind of test it with whatever else that you may have seen out there. I mean, I've used pretty much, I think, everything out there. I have not purchased one that sits on my dash because I've seen the ones that are in the cars. I've seen the ones that are in our rentals and things that we, you know, go and rent or whatever. But, you know, they don't do what this does. And I'm going to show you why. To get started with the app, the first thing you have to do is find it on your phone or your tablet. And this is what it looks like right here. So you can see it says RV Life. And if I select that, it will go ahead and open up the app. And the first thing it wants me to do here is to log in. This app is part of the RV Life Pro suite. And you know, so you have to be have a subscription to RV Life to be able to use it. And if you do not have one already, then if you use this QR code right here, you can scan that and you can save off your first year subscription. So it's a win-win for you. We do make a little bit off that, but we're making this video for everybody, not just new people. So if you already have it, that's great. We want to help you be able to use it, and hopefully you'll return the favor and give us some comments to tell us some things that you do with this particular app, and maybe some little pointers, or if you have questions, ask questions so that we can address them in future videos. Once I'm logged in, then the next step is just let's look at what we have available to us within this app. Now, the first things up here is talking about today's travels. In my particular case, I have created a trip within the Trip Wizard software, which is included within the suite of the Pro suite. You know, we're just going to kind of ignore that part of it right now. What I want to actually point out is the featured parks. So I'm sitting in Wisconsin, and it's showing me parks that are around me, so within 60 miles of where I'm sitting right now. Because the app actually gives me a lot of information within the app, it makes it so that I really don't need anything else. So you'll notice that within this 60-mile radius, that there are a number of parks here that it's suggesting to me, all right? And if I continue on down here, it also shows me gas stations that are close by, and then rest areas that are close by. So you get a lot of information on the front of this screen, and you know, so you can go down through all that information. And then if you go down here at the very bottom, I have created a favorites list. I've only got one item in there right now, but if I go into that favorites list, this is a campground that I put a heart by. And so now that all shows up into my favorites list, and I added it into this list. But I can just go in here and add different notes and just navigate directly to that one if that's someplace I go all the time. But down here at the very bottom of the screen, we have a few other things on here. So we have home, map, trips. Trips is the one where this 14,000 mile trip we're on, that's where we created our trip within Trip Wizard. Whatever I edit within on my laptop for that trip shows up right there. But we're gonna avoid that for this video because the idea here is I want to just show you what this GPS does, just the characteristics of this GPS. So over here to the next option is GPS, and then the final one over on the right is more. And I'm going to click on more to begin with. Under the more tab we have our profile, and what's important about profile, if I click on that, is that it has the listings for our RV. So they call it here your RV Garage. All right, so if I click on RV Garage, then I can put in here the vehicles that I want to have in my garage. So in this particular case, I have my motorhome in here, and I also have my car. And you'll notice that my motorhome is set as my primary RV, my primary vehicle. So when I go do my mapping and everything, I will always use my motorhome. But if I was going to be out doing something in my car and I wanted to go on a road trip somewhere and go camping in my car, then I can set that to be my car, and I can just use that to do my navigation that way. So that's pretty cool. Within the garage here for my RV, let's just look at the RV itself. I have these characteristics. So the biggest thing here is this RV specs and measurements. So if I click on that, this is where I'm going to put in the information about my rig. So this is where I'm putting in my height, my length, my weight, okay? These are the important things that when you're going down with an RV, no matter what it is, the next option here is propane. If it's something, I'm in a van, for example, and I have propane, there's certain restrictions that you can't have propane on board. And so that's why you want to put all that in here. So you don't have to just use this for rigs that are big. Okay, it can be used for vans or whatever. It's a great tool to help you out as you navigate. But all this information about this particular vehicle is all stored right here. So I'm just going to go back to my profile, and the next entry down is my camping preferences. Now, this is important if you have certain things you always want to have. For example, a pull-through site. If you always want a pull-through site, then this is a great place. Go ahead and put those options in here so that those are the only campgrounds that are being shown to you. All right, so you can say pull-through sites, back-end sites, whether they're paved or dirt. You can say whether you want to, they have to have electric hookups or not. So you put all those characteristics in here, and then those are filter items that they use when they're showing you those parks. So you can fill that out, and so based on those two things alone, we've now talked about our whole RV. We've also talked about our preferences. This is something that you don't normally see on any GPS software. So that's why we're saying this is the ultimate GPS software. So the next thing is that I think is very important is the offline maps. Most GPS software, if you're going to route somewhere, they'll let you download the map area for where you're going to be. Okay, and that's usually just a portion. So it's not going to be, for example, the whole state. It's just being where you're driving, where your actual map piece is. That's what you're going to download. But on RV Life here, I can go to this offline maps area, and I've got maps available for United States, Canada, and for Mexico. And if I select, in this case, United States, we just got back from Canada, so I've already deleted all my Canada maps, but I did this for Canada also, and that's what's pretty cool. So if I go down through here, you'll notice that I have the ability to download any state that I want. And you'll notice here right now, I've got Iowa, we've downloaded Iowa, and we've downloaded Minnesota. Those are the next couple places. Well, we're going to Minnesota next. We just came from Iowa. And so I'm going to, I don't need Iowa anymore, so I can just delete Iowa, okay? So I'm just going to remove that. That frees up the space on my phone. The other thing I can do is I can just say, well, let's see, wait a minute. I'm in Wisconsin, so I'm going to be, let's find Wisconsin here. And, I've got Wisconsin on there, so I'm good. But if I needed a state, I just click on it, And so let's say Washington, D.C., it says this is a large download over cellular, but do you want to do that? And you say yes, and then it will go ahead and download that. And so it actually puts the whole map onto your phone. And the value of that is that when you're just sitting somewhere, whether you have cell service or not, you can map out something for the day and go to it because the map's on your phone. You don't have to have the internet to do your navigation. So no other software I know does that. I've tried it on several of them, and you're kind of stuck. So if you don't get those maps downloaded ahead of time, and you're stuck. And in this particular case, you can go anywhere in the state of, in this case, we're in Wisconsin, so we can go anywhere in Wisconsin, and the whole map is downloaded. So that's a major feature of this particular GPS software that I really like a lot. All right, so then the next thing as we look across here, so that takes care of everything in the more area. Well, we're going to go over here now to the map, and you'll notice that I have a whole bunch of things on the map right now. And these are parks, RV parks, and gas stations, among other things. But you'll notice down here on the bottom, I have filter and I have view list. So I'll get to the list here in just a minute. I'm just going to go into filter really quick. And under filter, I want to see gas stations available where I'm at. I want to see rest areas. And then here's all the information about the campgrounds that I'm interested in. So right now, I'm interested in any campground. I don't care, other than if I would have set some under my campground preferences, that would be included as far as this is concerned. But I don't have any restrictions set, so it's showing me all the campgrounds that are in the area, okay? But I don't really want the fuel stations or rest areas. I just want campgrounds, so I'm going to turn those two off. And I'm just going to hit my back on my filter here. And you'll notice now that my map's not so cluttered. All I have on here is RV camp spots. So if I zoom in here a little bit and I say, these are the ones I have, I can just click on them and it will bring up information about it. Or I can click this view list at the very bottom and it will just bring up a list of them all. Okay, so you can look through it that way. It shows you all the star ratings and you get a real quick look at what the names are and things like that. If there was maybe a specific one somebody told you about, then you can just drill into that really quick. I really like the map view because you'll notice right up here that I am this little green dot right here, and that is where I'm at. So I don't want to be looking at campgrounds that are way out of my way. I want to look at campgrounds that are pretty close to where I'm going, my path of direction that I want to travel. And so by having the map there, it makes it really easy to kind of see what's going on. So I can look and say, you know what, I'm going up this freeway, and this one right here, I'm going to just click on that, is right along the freeway. So let's just take a look at that really quick. So this is called Creekview Campground, and it's got a rating of 6.3 out of 10. So yeah, that's not too bad. The dollar signs are the cost of the campground. So if I say over here on the bottom right, it says park details, I can click on park details and it will take me into the screen that talks about the whole park itself, everything about it, right? It has the different star ratings, the cost. It has the phone number to call if I want to make a reservation. You can't make the reservation through this software, but it has the phone number right there. You can make, you can call and make the reservations. You can also click on directions right there and it'll take you to the GPS portion. There's several ways to get to the GPS portion, so we're going to show you some other ways too, but you could do it right there. But it also tells you all the characteristics about this particular campground. And the cool thing too is that if you continue on down through here, you have all your different ratings, so different reviews that people have given for this particular campground. So you have a pretty good idea what's going on with that just from this information and whether you maybe want to stay there or not. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just hit this top back arrow here. I'm going to go back to my map and I'm going to go ahead and click back on there again, and this time I'm going to click on the navigate option. So I want to go here, I've made a reservation, whatever the case may be. I hit navigate. It brings up my navigation thing. It automatically knows where I'm at, right? Because it's a GPS, so it knows where I'm at, but it's telling me where I'm going. It already has that filled in, Creek Views Campground. And so at that point, I can just hit start navigation, I can take off. Now, one extra thing that's available here that's pretty cool is that I can go up here to the top right and I can say route preferences, and now I can change my route preferences a little bit also to say, you know, I want to avoid tolls. I want to avoid highways. Maybe I want to avoid ferries. Okay, so I have these different characteristics. Now, you'll see usually some of the different software out there will let you avoid tolls, but they usually don't get into this much detail. So this is pretty cool, and maybe that's what you want. You know, I don't really want to be on dirt roads, but if that's all I can drive on, then that's fine. I usually don't worry about whether you know, they're unpaved roads or if I have to stay on the highway or whatever. We just go from point A to point B. But I fill that stuff in there. I go ahead and hit that X. At that point, I can just say start navigation. All right, and that's going to plot out, figure it all out for me. RV safe routing based on all the information that I have stored within this app is happening right here. So it comes up here. The cool thing is, if I can zoom out just a little here, I can see what it's showing me for the trip. Now in this case it's pretty simple, we're just going down the highway, but I can get an idea about how I'm going to be going for that particular trip and if that's going to work for me or not. Okay, remember this is RV safe routing, so it's not giving me 15 different routes I can choose from. It's giving me the route that's going to be the best for my RV to travel on. All right, and so once I've reviewed that and I'm good with it, then I'm going to go ahead and select this. It says there's 13 minutes to my destination, so I'm just going to click on that, and you'll notice it's got that highlighted there, and you'll notice something new that has come up here now. Right under the 13 minutes it says preview turn-by-turn directions. So if I pull that up, I now see a listing of the actual every individual turn. So if you want to follow it that way, you can. A lot of people like to do that and eliminate, just kind of do it manually. That's fine. Or you can just kind of review that to see if you agree with it, right? Whatever the case may be. I'm going to just say start my navigation.
Let's go.
And now
turn left.
It's giving me the directions on what to do, okay? Now, an important thing to know on this is that as we're going along, we're centered on that point right there. But if I'm going along and maybe, I don't understand what's going on, or I want to see if there's some other options as we're driving along, I can kind of, zoom the screen out here as I'm driving and see exactly where I'm going, and maybe, how far the next town's going to be, or, if there's a rest area up there somewhere, things like that. And then, once I've looked at that, I can just hit this recenter and it takes me right back to where I'm at on my route. So that makes it pretty nice. So the other thing is that on the right here, you have, bottom right, it says add route feedback. So as you're driving along, you hit that, you can say, this is a real rough road. You can say there's road construction, narrow road, whatever. You can put that information in there, and then they categorize that. They pull that information in to be able to give other people feedback as far as that route is concerned. And then the other cool thing that's really neat about this is that when your trip is all done, I'm just going to end it prematurely here, right? Because we're not going to drive there. Then it automatically comes up with a feedback form, so you can rate how it did. How did I do routing you to this location? Do you give me 1 star, 5 stars, whatever? Plus, I can make comments and things and submit those. And they put that in there because they want to start, they can't, all the software that's out there is not perfect, period. Nobody is, right? And so they want to get feedback from you, like if they missed a bridge, a low bridge, or they missed something, that you happen to see while you're going, then maybe that's something you want to put in there. If there's some other conditions that you should know about, maybe you want to put that in there for them. And then they can put those feedback things into the software so that others can see that for the next time. And so that's pretty cool. The other thing is, if down here at the bottom here, we also have right next to the stop thing here, we have this little marks on here, little switches. And if I click on that, I can kind of change what my navigation is doing. So I can turn the voice navigation on and off. I can turn the volume up. I can make the map option. It's auto. Auto means is it going to go dark or light, you know, so as you're going along and you're changing, it gets dark at night or whatever. The speed limit, it'll show the speed limit at the top of the screen. That was really helpful, I'll tell you, in Canada, because it was translating the Canadian kilometers to miles per hour for us automatically. So I'd see the kilometer sign, I'd look over on here and it had the actual speed limit. So that was pretty cool. Speed alerts, if you turn that on, if you go over whatever the posted speed limit is, then it will beep, 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 beep. You know, so then you know, whoops, I got to slow down, especially coming into, if you're going along a lot of small towns and things. This was really helpful in Canada because their speed limits are really low going through town. So you want to, I mean, you don't want to have problems, right? You're an outsider going into these different villages or towns and things, and you don't want to have some policeman pull you over because you're going too fast. So that's pretty cool. So north always up. That just means that if your phone is up here like this, the north is towards the top, and you can show landmarks. So that's pretty cool too, because it shows all the different things around you as you're driving. So, and then you can also change it, like if you are in Canada and you want to be on the metric system, you can just change it right here. So another really cool thing all within here. And let me tell you, the way that this deals with metric and imperial is so much better than anything. I tried them all because I wanted to see the differences, because I thought that was pretty cool. You know, I had issues where like the speed limit would be in kilometers, but the distance would be in miles. The distance would be in kilometers, but the speed limit was in miles. It was, you know, there was lots of issues. There was nothing that was, you know, the same. This has always, you know, handled that really well, and so I really like that a lot. So, and then the other thing is you know, it's telling you as you're driving here, you know, up here at the top, it tells you, you know, in the next 100 feet, I'm going to make a left-hand turn. Well, if I want to look ahead, it's really handy over here on the right. I can just click on this little thing and it shows me what my upcoming turns are going to be. So I know in 100 feet I'm making a left turn, but how far is it before I got to make a right turn? This is really handy when you're getting off the freeway, for example, and they have 2 lanes and I got to make a left-hand turn. Do I want to be on the inside turn lane or the outside turn lane? I prefer to be on the outside turn lane. It gives me a little bit more room to turn. But if I'm immediately going to make a left-hand turn, then I better be in that left-hand lane because it's going to be difficult for me to move over. And so this little feature here is like a major lifesaver. And it's so simple just to reach up and just touch it as I'm going, because I have this right by me, pretty much, right? Well, okay, so that finishes the review of this GPS software, and I hope you see that based on what I've shown you here, that's why I'm calling this the ultimate GPS software, because there's so many things that you can do with this that other packages don't let you do. And so, you know, especially for the price. It's just a flat set fee, and the cool thing about that price too, I didn't mention this, remember you got the 25% off. You wanted to use this coupon code right here, or this QR code. But the other cool thing is you know, once you know, you sign up, so you know, at the time of this recording, I think the price is $65 a year. Well, that price will never go up. As you know, if they raise prices, you know, everybody's going to raise prices. So the price will be raised as time goes on, but your price will never raise. So as long as you have it set up for automatic payments and everything, you're set. You know, that price will never go any higher. And so I love those type of apps that companies put out, and they just set them up like that and they lock you in. That's the best thing. That you want to jump on that as quick as you can, so you have that lowest price forever. So anyway, based on that, it makes it a kind of a no-brainer. It's a win-win. It's a pretty cool thing. It's always there available to you. And there's a ton of other things that's available with that subscription besides just this GPS. But just using this GPS alone, I can do a lot. So that's pretty cool. So if you're having problems with things, let me know, because I'll research them out and we'll do some future videos on that. So, okay. So thanks for coming along. Hopefully we'll see you down the road somewhere. And if we don't, then we'll see you on our next video. So you guys take care. Bye.